All right. How's everybody doing? Very good, very good. I am very excited and honored to be presenting today. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Dana, co-web team, for giving me this opportunity to have this platform to share a little bit of who we are and what we do. Um, as Kim already mentioned, I have worked with co-web for about 2+ years, and I just came into the role as a deputy director just this past September. So I'm still learning. I'm still growing and learning what all this entails, and realizing, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? But it is a wonderful job. I love it, and we do fantastic work here in our community. So Reaching Our City, let me just share a little bit of who we are. Reaching Our City is a faith-based community development organization right here from Oklahoma City, right here on the northwest corner of the city. And we are focused on supporting and equipping people to strengthen themselves, their families, and their neighborhood. It's always been an organization that takes the pulse of the community, that sort of listens to what the community needs, and tries to find a solution for what for what they're needing. That's what the organization has always been about. And just to give you a brief history of what we have done and where we come from. It was founded in 1999 out of a community initiative from Greenville Elementary, right here in Western Heights School District. From the teacher's name was Marilee Denton, and she was just a lady that saw a need in the community as a teacher, and she loved those kids, and started to ask questions. What can we do to provide with clothing and with food? And an after school program came up after that, and things just opened up. People came and volunteered, and almost 22 years later, here we are, still providing services, still providing food and clothing for uh, the community and the underserved individuals in this community. In the past 21 and a half years, this ROC has partnered with 50+ organizations, anything from health clinic, legal aid clinic, childcare, and it has evolved as the needs of the community change. Also, ROC has changed because no organization can remain static. Uh, it has reached an approximate of 25,000 people served every year for the past 10 years through our services with a food pantry, and through many other services and partner events that we do with many different organizations. And it's also historically has been a center for volunteerism. So whether your company needs to volunteer, you have required volunteer hours for your company, your enterprise, your business, or many folks that just have court mandated volunteer hours, they're all welcome here to volunteer. We have schools, academies, homeschool communities. They all come and participate in the events that we present and we have. Our current core partners are Camino Clinic, and I'm going to talk about the clinic shortly after. We got the Regional Food Bank, of course. COWIB is one of our core partners. We have Oklahoma City Parks and Recs as a core partner. The Church of the Nazarene, which is a church that is in about 150 different countries and is present all throughout the United States. As a denomination, they send many volunteers and are very connected to our organization. Lazarus Community, homeless organization that just launched last year, the West End District and Western Heights School District. The food resource center that we have does many things. It used to be just a food pantry, but we have again evolved to become a food resource center where we just don't provide food for folks, but we want to be a resource for not for the only for the clients, but also for other partners and communities uh, organizations that are in our area. So for instance, right now we have a partner with Pepsi and we get lots of drinks, lots of drinks. And so what we have done is that we are a resource for the community, for churches and any other business or organization that wants just drinks for an event, and they come here and they get it. So we have become a food resource center. We are going out to the community and having sort of connecting events. We call it hot dog outpost. In the summer, we will go out there and we were grilling hot dogs. And when the weather was nice, just grilling hot dogs and hamburgers, going to a corner and connecting the community. We found out that people needed that, after this pandemic time, people need a connection. So that's what we are providing and what we're all about. And of course, the Food Resource Center is a great place to volunteer. The hours are Tuesdays from 4 to 7 p.m. and Thursdays from 11 to 2 p.m. And anybody's welcome. And it's a great food resource center. We provide quite a bit, basically a shopping cart full of food, meat, dairy products, dessert. I mean, it's fantastic. Vegetables, just very, very good stuff that we make sure that people are receiving because, everybody has dignity and value, right? So we want to make sure that when people come, they already, we want to sort of facilitate to knocking down that barrier and the stigma that it is from coming to get food. So that's why when they come here, especially on Tuesday evenings, we have a community dinner with hot food, and we have tailgating games, and we try to make it like a block party, right? So that we can take the stigma and that shame, and we can address that a little bit and have people feel welcome and understand that they have inherent dignity and value. We also have a resale shop. Like I said, we have been clothing the community for a long time, and the resale shop is also a place where people love to be. People love to go and shop there, and also donate all kinds of items. We have a great crew. Our resale shop is also one of our training centers, and in partnership with CoWIP, we have folks over there that are in transition that can go in there and work and reconnect with their labor market. And is also something that we provide that is fantastic, is that we provide a voucher for 5 items of clothing for free for anybody. So if you have anyone in any kind of situation, any kind of circumstance, and just need some extra clothing, they can go to a resale shop. They can come here to the main building and get up to 5 items of clothing for free. So it's just a great thing. Well, thank you for saying great, neat shop, great prices. Thank you, Andy. Yes, it is neat prices. We make sure we get good stuff. We put out there just good stuff. We have a great rotation, seasonal rotation of what is needed. We have a reward system. We try to make sure we do the best for our clientele and for our employees. As we move along, let's see here. The Camino Clinic. Camino Clinic is a new partner that has joined ROC just in the past year. They provide with the community as a point of care with primary care services. They're also are bringing in together in their own partnerships counseling, which is really needed, mental health counseling. They provide with medication assistance and referral resources for those who come. Like I said, they just launched. They're building up a clientele, and they are meeting twice a month here to begin with. First Friday of the month from 9:30 to 12:30, and last Friday of the month from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30. You can check out more information at CaminoClinicOklahoma.com. Clients can also get on there and request services, or they can find information to call Camino Clinic and set up an appointment. Right now they're working with appointment only, but soon they will be receiving also clients just as they come on first and last Fridays of the month. We also, in the community, we have always done tutoring and mentoring with children, especially with the kids of Council Grove and Greenville Elementary School. So we have had a long standing relationship with those two elementary schools in this community. And we love them. We love Western Heights, and we try to continue to be a resource and a connector and a safe place for the community to meet here. The teachers, they meet here whenever they have meetings. This is the place that they choose. So we are very proud to be partners of the Western Heights School District. And we also have many other community events that involve all kinds of services and things for the community that are fun. One of them, what you see here on these pictures, we call it Thanksgiving in a Box. And we provided a Thanksgiving meal for like about 120 families. And we had a sign-up sheet online, and we have 4 different menus for them to pick, like, a traditional Thanksgiving, Hispanic Thanksgiving, Asian Thanksgiving. It was awesome. And people just had a great time. And we did this in partnership with a church in this area and the Melrose Community Center. We have some new programs coming up soon, and we are very excited to launch these new initiatives that we know will address major needs in our community. One of them is the Caregivers Day Out. What is this? This is a personalized care for folks that are senior adults or dependent adults. So we will provide personalized care for them, enriching activities. This will be a safe space for them to have some fellowship, connecting community, and some socialization space. There will be physical activities as well, mental stimulation, structure engagement, employment development, and caregiver support and respite. Something that we have found is that a major need in our community is folks that are caregivers of their elderly parents or grandparents. And this is going to be a fantastic service at a very low cost and very affordable for the community. And also for those who are, again, dependent adults, whether people that are, whether it's autism and any other learning disability, we will provide a place for parents to come and bring those who are in need of those services, and it's going to be just awesome. So we are going to benefit both children and parents at the same time in different ways, and that's something that we are about to launch here at Rich in our city. We're also going to launch the Leadership Institute for Tomorrow, which is Leadership Institute for Tomorrow is basically a program that is going to address the needs for the community, for those who need to take the next step professionally or in a personal level. And it's based on the trans-theoretical theory of change. Some of you may be sort of familiar with this concept, where, it's kind of going to give us a framework to think through and to journey with the folks as they continue to march along in their journey of life. So we just gonna continue to walk with them through all that, and with the partnerships that we have, we will offer support groups, and we will connect them to partnerships for their development, like a COIB and other partners in the community. We will have certified coaches and mentors, and we will provide assessments such as Myers-Briggs DISC, the VIA Character Strength Assessment, Change and Conflict Management Training, and a Spiritual Direction. We know we can do many things to motivate people, but inspiration comes from within. And in order for you to be inspired, you got to know who you are, and you got to be aware of who you are. So we want to provide with the space and the community and the connectivity for folks to have an organic environment where they can continue to hold each other accountable and encourage one another, so that when they move on to structured environments, they can also thrive. This is just an example of some mentorship that we have done already through the partnerships that we've had with COWIB and with ROC and volunteers at ROC. We also have a women's support group every Friday. Let me rephrase that. Second and fourth Friday of the month, they meet. Last Friday, we had like 45 of these ladies out here just having lunch. We always have a partner provide the lunch, and they come and they have all kinds of topics, encouragement topics. They talk about employment. They talked about just a variety of topics that are relevant for them, specific for folks in that journey of life, in that stage of the journey, and they just have a great time here. And this is part of what we provide here at ROC, space for the community. And of course, volunteers, lots of volunteer work that we provide. If your organization or you yourself individually want to be a part of ROC and volunteer some hours, you're always welcome. Or if you know of some folks that just need to find a place, we are a good place. We always have something to do here, a good ways to serve the community and put your talents to work. If you want to volunteer, you just go to info@reachingourcity.org, send an email there, or you can go to our website and click on the volunteer tab, and there will be plenty of information it will take you to another link that it has a calendar with all kind of volunteer opportunities for you. Again, my name is Rody Sanchez. I'm with Reach in Our City. There's my info. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to do it. And are there any questions?
So thank you, Rody. I appreciate you presenting for us. And I actually wrote down a couple of questions for you. So you're in the northwest part of Oklahoma City. So do you just serve a community? Like, do you have parameters of those that you serve, or do you serve all of Oklahoma City?
We serve all Oklahoma City, everyone, everywhere. We have folks here, like a lot of the homeless population. So folks with no address. We have people that come from Moore, people that come from all over the place. So we don't have any parameters. We are right here in this corner, but we serve the whole Oklahoma City.
Okay, that's terrific news. The other question that I wrote down, and it's actually kind of a two-part question. Where is the retail store? And then I have a comment. How come I just am now learning about it, since I do like to shop at places like that? And then the other thing is how would one donate items to the resale shop? Is there any rules about that? Do you have certain times of the day that you accept donations?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Kim. The resale shop is located at Rockwell and 12. It's 1212 Rockwell, at Rockwell and 12. And it's really easy to find. You can Google ROC Resale Shop. You will find it there too. And you can donate anytime that they're open. They're open from Monday to Friday from 10 to 5, and Saturdays they're open from 10 to 5 as well. So you can show up and donate anytime. They will receive you. They will welcome you. And we don't, for the most part, the one thing that we are somewhat careful is like electronics, because, you have to test them and all that. But in terms of clothing and furniture, we would love to receive it.
All right, awesome. So next up is Kayla Woody. She is a prevention specialist with the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that's located in Shawnee. It's called the House of Hope. The reason for the connection here is that, and she's going to talk about that here in a few minutes, is that the service area has expanded and they also serve more people. So location of where she's at is 1310 South Gordon Cooper Drive in Shawnee. So Kayla, we have made you a co-host. So when you're ready, go ahead and start sharing your screen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. You might give me just a second on the screen share. Hopefully it will work for me. Can everyone see that website?
Yes.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Well, again, thank you so much for allowing me the time to speak today about our program. My name is Kayla, like she had mentioned. The House of Hope is an organization out of Shawnee that is ran by the Citizen Potawatomi Nation tribe. And we offer free assistance to any individual that is experiencing domestic violence, stalking, or sexual assault. And when I say any individual, I know that we are ran by a tribe here in Oklahoma, but we do assist Native and non-Native individuals. I think that's a question that a lot of people have. So I want to kind of get that out of the way just in the beginning. And of course, we can proudly assist anyone regardless of their gender, age, race, sexual orientation, economic status. We are here to support anyone who is struggling in those types of situations and are needing safety and help from violence. We do serve 5 counties here in Oklahoma, those being Potawatomi County, Lincoln County, Seminole County, Oklahoma, and Cleveland for services. But if we do receive a client from outside of that service area, we are here to help them locate services in their service area. On the website, we actually have a lot of different resources. We have a national resource directory that lists quite a few different numbers for domestic violence hotlines, sexual violence hotlines, anything from suicide prevention to teen dating violence, substance abuse, mental health. We try to list a lot of different resources on there. We also have a link for domestic violence shelters in the state of Oklahoma. So if someone is seeking safety away from an abusive, intimate partner, and our shelter is not close enough to them or in an area where they feel safe, we can try to locate another shelter for them that best fits their needs. We also have a state homeless shelter list as well for those who may be leaving a situation. Maybe it's not domestic violence or stalking, sexual assault, but they find themselves without a home. We really try to provide them with those resources because, again, we want to keep them safe, keep them out of conditions, and make sure they're taken care of. Oh, let me go back here. When we talk about our services, we do offer a variety of services to our clients. One of those being the emergency shelter that I talked about. That emergency shelter is located in Potawatomi County and is open to women who are victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking, and their children. We don't accept male victims in our shelter, but again, we can locate another shelter for them that is more for male residents, or we can try to come up with some type of situation to, again, get them out of that abusive situation and keep them safe. We also offer community advocacy to our clients, which provides a lot of different resources and services. One of those, of course, is safety planning. That is our main concern with our clients, is to make sure that they are safe and out of that abuse and that violence in their home. So we go over a variety of ways for them to keep themselves safe, to keep their children safe, to keep their family safe. We will sit down with them and create a safety plan that best fits them. This can look like things, creating safety words with their children, talking to their neighbors and explaining the situation. So if a violent outburst comes up, they have a way of notifying someone for safety. We talk about if there is escalation in the home, the best way to get out of that escalation, whether it be, not being in a room with just one exit, or a room that may have weapons, like a kitchen with knives and things like that. So we really try to prepare our clients for those escalations and what they can do to keep themselves safe. For our clients who are going through legal proceedings, whether that be divorce, protective orders, whether that be filing charges against that abuser, we have advocates that can go to the courthouse, to these legal proceedings with the client to help them feel supported, to prepare them for what to expect. Court can be a very anxious time for anyone, but for a victim of domestic violence who has to face their abuser in court, it can be extremely anxious and very much terrifying. So we want to be there to support them and lift them up. We provide parenting education classes. It's an 8-week course. It's completely free. We provide a lot of great information, like family communication, the best way to encourage good behavior in our children, tech safety with our children. We talk about healthy relationships, how to teach our children about those healthy relationships. There's a lot of different topics that we go over. And at the end of the 8 weeks, we provide them with a certificate of completion that they can then provide to a caseworker, a judge, an attorney, whoever may be asking or seeking that information. There is another program that we provide with our community clients that's called Address Confidentiality. So it's a program that's set up through the state of Oklahoma that allows residents to really keep their address confidential and locked down. So they're provided with a free PO box number and can actually give this out as a physical address under certain state laws to keep their location confidential and safe so that their abuser cannot locate them. So many times we see that you can pretty much pull any address off the internet if it's made public. So we really want to try to help them keep that location confidential. And then of course we provide all kinds of referrals to different community resources and organizations just like you all, to make sure that we are taking care of our clients and getting them everything that they need to succeed and start over from this abusive relationship. So those are a lot of our different types of services that we offer here. Again, they are all confidential, completely free to the client, and we really put that together to best fit their needs. So even if it's not a service that we normally offer, if we have to try to, pull some strings and make some phone calls to figure out how we can help that client find a new job or a new residence, child care, insurance, medical insurance, whatever we can do to help them with that, we will provide that assistance. For our clients who maybe are not ready to leave that situation yet, maybe there's a lot of different reasons why a victim doesn't leave their abuser. There's so much stigma around that, but for many victims, it is extremely difficult to leave that situation. So for those clients, we do offer a 24/7 crisis line. So if they find themselves in crisis, in an explosive situation, they can call our crisis hotline number to receive support from our advocates. We go over safety planning tips. We try to encourage them in that situation to keep them safe, because a lot of times with this abuse, their self-esteem has been brought down. It's very difficult for them to keep going. So we want to be there to assist them in that. And then, of course, we provide community education, which is kind of what I'm doing now. We go out in various communities and talk about what domestic violence is, what sexual assault is, what we can do as community members to make sure that we are encouraging victims, that we are keeping them safe. How can we help those in our community who are experiencing domestic violence? Because we see that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will experience relationship violence in their lifetime. That's a pretty staggering number. If you think about, just those in your family, I have 2 boys, so there's a pretty good chance that one of them is going to have to deal with some type of relationship abuse. So it's just so good to really try to get that information out. We really focus heavy on our youth population. We see that they are the most vulnerable when it comes to violence. We see that 15 to 24-year-old girls are the most vulnerable when we talk about relationship violence and domestic violence. So if we can educate them, teach them what a healthy relationship looks like, that they can set boundaries, and that they deserve what real love looks like, we can stop that violence before it even has a chance to really set in with them. So we really get, we go into our schools, our public schools, our universities, our tech schools, and we just talk with our kids. We ask them, what does love look like to you? We talk to them about signs of unhealthy relationships and what a healthy relationship looks like. And then we talk to them about how do you help a friend or a family member or, a coworker or a teammate who is going through domestic violence or dating violence. That way we can really spread that information and really prevent, again, that violence before it starts. We also go out into a variety of organizations, businesses, you name it. We go to doctors' offices, law offices, tax offices. We want to talk to as many people as we can to inform them of how domestic violence affects them, because domestic violence not only affects us in our home life, it affects us in our work life. We see that about 8 million days a year are lost to domestic abuse, which is crazy because we only have 365 days in a year, but there are over 8 million days that are lost in the workplace because of domestic violence, which equates to about 32,000 full-time jobs that are being lost because of relationship abuse. And it's not just with the victim either. We see that these abusers also are losing work time because of, legal proceedings and arrests and incarceration, which is then hurting the employer. It's a huge economic loss as well as a financial loss for so many people. We see about $727 million annually in productivity that's lost in our workforce each year. And that's not even including medical costs. That medical costs are about $4 million a year, because employers are having to provide those, higher insurance premiums, and it's a huge cost. We also see security as an issue when that domestic violence moves from the home to the workplace. There was actually a story that I was able to locate back in 2019 a Florida man decided that he was going to follow his wife to work, and he opened fire on her in front of her job, shot her multiple times. He was killed by police. And thankfully no one else was hurt, but it could have been so much worse, hurting, other employees or customers. So domestic violence has a huge impact on our workforce, on our, relationships, on, our personal lives. So we really want to make sure that we're educating people, that we're bringing information about domestic violence to our communities so we can make changes on what these relationships look like. When we talk about really what is domestic violence, there's some great information on our website. If you go kind of to the 4th section here, we talk about family violence, dating violence, stalking. We give a lot of great tips, but really the most important thing here is we list those warning signs. So really what to look for if you know someone who may be experiencing violence in their relationship, or maybe if you're unsure if you're experiencing it in your relationship. Underneath our forms page, we have some great resources. We have some relationship quizzes to determine if your relationship is healthy, or maybe a friend, you can encourage them to take it. And then we also have a quiz that determines how lethal your relationship may be. If you know it's abusive, how much danger you may be in. So those can be extremely helpful. And then of course we offer assistant applications on our website. So if you know someone who's experiencing domestic violence or sexual assault or stalking, they can go onto our webpage, fill out this application for assistance. It remains completely confidential. None of this information is shared with anyone. And our advocates can review that information and contact that client, and really try to help them in that situation. And then of course we have our parenting education application on there as well, if someone is interested in taking parenting education classes to assist really in, furthering their parenting skills. If you are interested in, if you're interested in either more information about our organization, and maybe you would like us to come out and speak to your staff, to your classroom, to your clients, we would be more than happy to do that. We have contact information on our website. You can just call here under our main office number. And I will also put my email in the chat box so you have that. And we would be happy to set up a date. If you know someone who is experiencing violence and you would like for them to get assistance, we have our crisis line number here, as well as a Get Help tab where they can click, and it provides them with a variety of ways to reach out for help. Whether it's for shelter, maybe they're not ready to leave, but they just need to talk to somebody under our crisis line. Maybe they've already left and they need some community resources, or maybe they have been recently assaulted and they need to speak to someone about an exam. We also have a number there for that as well. But I will go ahead and leave it up to some questions if anyone has any for me.
Kayla, thank you so much. That was a lot of great information, and I certainly wrote down a lot myself. I'm old school, so I took a bunch of notes over here. But yes, this is terrific information, and the point that you made about how it impacts the workforce is so important for this group that you're speaking to. But I did have a couple of questions
Yeah, of course.
for you in particular. So when someone is in your shelter, and understandably this is a safe place for them, and certainly anonymity is important and all that, how do you all handle transportation? Let's say they're a family that doesn't have transportation. And then I'm going to further ask an additional question, which is what type of academics or education do you provide the children while they're in the shelter?
So when we talk about transportation, it really depends on the victim's situation. We definitely want to keep the confidentiality of our shelter location, but we want to keep that victim safe. So we normally have meetup spots. We've reached out before where a victim's friend could bring them to this specific location, and then we could take them the rest of the way. We have, purchased plane tickets. We have purchased bus tickets. We have paid for, Ubers and cabs. We want to make sure that we can keep that person safe, and we will figure out a way to try to do that. If we can't get them to our location, we will try to locate a shelter nearby to get them to that location. When we talk about our youth, were you interested about youth in our shelter or when we educate youth in the schools?
So many folks that are on this call, some of them are case managers. So this may be something that they might have in terms of a question. So, and I was coming at it from the point of a case manager. So if I was to refer a client or someone I was helping to your program, they may want to know about, how does this disrupt my child's education? So do you guys online? What plan do you all have specifically in your shelter there?
We have had this question come up before with residents who are, of course, relocating quite a ways. I'm going to have to take my child to a new school, or how's that going to work? With the ability to have online classes, we actually have computers and internet in our shelters. So a lot of parents do like to choose that option. But if not, we do try to help them to get their children into a program that's nearby. A lot of time our shelter residents are only staying for a temporary time. So maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. A lot of times we're able to help them locate a new residence to move to, whether it be their own, a new residence that they are either renting or purchasing. We can relocate them to, new family, friends. So we really try to work with that parent on what is best, what's, I guess I should say, kind of convenient, but also to get that child into a, public, whether a public school setting or an online school setting. We're definitely grateful for the online public school. But it really is just kind of up to the parent in the situation of how we can do that.
Okay, so that kind of answered a question that I was going to follow up. So it is a temporary situation, and it sounds like if you're purchasing bus tickets, airplane tickets, things like that. So if someone needs to reach out to maybe a family member in a different state,
yes,
they might not have connectivity with, but need to now, that's something that you guys can assist them with.
Yes, we have reached out. Sometimes, like I said, we can reach out and, find new rentals in that area and try to help them get set up. A lot of times we can offer to pay first month's rent to really help offset those financial difficulties that come up when they're leaving that situation. So we try to partner up with as many different organizations as we can to really fill those needs for those clients.